Morning Year 3s, are you ready for a mythical English lesson today? We're going to be creating our ideas for a mythical beast, our own one, and start off with our spag starter. It's apostrophes for contraction, so these are words that we say differently to how we originally said them. So we had did not, and we usually say that as didn't. It's a shortened version of it, and it uses an apostrophe to show where those letters have been sort of squeezed out, if you like. So we've got did not, and we've got the different variations. There's 2 in each line you need to tick. You need to tick the original full version of it, and then the shortened one that's been shortened with an apostrophe. So you've got did not, is it didn't, 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 and you can see by the spelling and the way that the apostrophe works, which one's right. So the apostrophe just shows you where those letters have been pushed. I always think of it as being pushed out, and it's showing you where they've gone from. So have a look at the original words and find those first, and then work out the one that's got the apostrophe in the right place, and tick those off. And once you pause the video, hopefully we're ready to restart, and I'll give you the answers to those. So we've got did not, didn't, is not, isn't, would not, wouldn't. Okay. And they never get letters that are added in when they're used for an omission. They're always letters that have been omitted, which means left out. So we've got contractions here again for this is the cool version. So exactly the same. We've got three words there, or 3 sections here, and you just need to match up the ones on one side with the correct one on the other. And you can pause the video, and then we can restart and give you the answers. Did not is didn't, would not, wouldn't, is not, isn't. Okay, and it's how we say them, isn't it? It isn't cold today, but and we didn't, or it isn't sunny and we didn't manage to get outside. So here we've got this weird and wonderful mythical creature coming out of the clouds. Have a little think and a time to talk about what we remember from yesterday, and what were the creatures that we sort of came across, and in the story or the film if you watch the film, and have a little thinking time on what this creature could be. And hopefully you're ready to restart. So we're working today to come up with really good ideas to generate our own mythical beast, which we'll be writing tomorrow, or getting a really good plan for it tomorrow, and then writing it on Thursday. Now I don't want you to go ahead and write this. This is just about collecting your notes and your ideas and playing with those ideas. So the skill is to explore and generate ideas, not to write a full character description of it. We're not doing that yet, okay? So don't go doing the whole thing. So what mythical creatures were in yesterday's film story? Can you write a list of them in your book? Now I can see one of them on the front of this, straight away on the front of this cover, this film cover here, and it looks like the winged horse. What was the name of that horse? So think about all those creatures that you came across, and see if you can write a list of them, and you can pause the video now. So hopefully you've got a little list there that you generated of the different creatures that you came up with from the story yesterday. We had the Nemean lion, didn't we? We had the Hydra. Oh, it's loads and loads and loads of them. We've got Pegasus there as well. And then now would like you to underline all the beasts that were the evil things that were nasty and fought and had were part of Hercules' labour. Part of his work was to get rid of these horrible beasts, and so go and underline those in your book as well, those evil beasts on your list. Okay. So mythical creatures tend to be on the side of good, whereas beasts, when we say mythical beasts, they often have evil. So when we talk about a creature, it's just a general creature. It can be a good or bad. It doesn't matter. Just a small living thing that's not a human. And mythical just means based in myth, so not based on fact. So really a story creature. And coming out of history as well, and whereas beasts have evil traits, and then they're really nasty creatures. Okay, so we're going to have a look at some amazing beasts in the book together, and normally we would do this in class, but I've taken some snaps of the book and put them in here for us to have a look at, because there's not all of these are Greek creatures and beasts, although the ancient Greeks did give us a huge bank of wealth on our mythical creatures and beasts. They were really, they sort of like were the driving force behind made up creatures and animals. So we'll have a look at them, and then what I want you to do is I want you to collect the ideas together. So no idea to write, to jot down notes today. No idea is a silly idea today, so write them down, and then you're going to use this. If you get lots of information, you'll be able to pick out all the best bits, which will make your work tomorrow and Thursday a whole lot easier. So really work on getting these notes. They don't need to be in sentences. They need to be really neat and quick notes, writing down your favourite ones if you like, and your favourite ideas. What makes them special? Is it because they're scary? Is it because they're just really strange? Is it because it makes them more of a threat? So have a little think about that. So just notes today, so you're going to have your super ideas for tomorrow. So here we've got a mythical beast, which is a griffin. And actually, let me go back. Hold on a second. I just want to go back to this one, because we've got two here. This is a griffin as well here. And we know this one. This is half man, half bull. He's got the head of a bull and the tail of a bull. And the rest of him is a man. And he is, do you remember who he is? Do you remember his name? He is the Minotaur. And he guards the labyrinth, doesn't he? With King Minos of Crete. And this is a beauty. I love these creatures. They're half eagle and half lion. Something about having wings, I think, is a brilliant idea. Just that, I'd love to have a pair of I'd love to have a pair of wings. Mrs. Ludlow, the mythical teacher, okay, with her wings, whee, just to fly around Hawkinge, get down the corridor really quickly at school as well, wouldn't you? So here we go. The griffin has the head and front legs of an eagle and the hind legs of a lion. So if you look, he's got his wings, and he's an eagle usually has two legs, but this is great because it gives you the mix of it. So on the back he's got clawed feet for a lion and the strength of the back end of a lion, and then at the front he's got these talons. He's also got his beak and his wings, so he can fly. So it's a really good mix of body parts in order to create this really strong and powerful creature. So the weapons that he's had, I think I mentioned some of those. He's got claws, he's got talons in his claws on a bird are called talons, and then he's got this beak. He's got he's quite a serious thing. He's got the best eyesight. He's got the power in him, power in his body and his back. So here we've got another character. You might recognise this. Anybody recognise him? He is Buckbeak, and he's from Harry Potter. And he is a very noble creature, which means he's very regal. He's very like a king. He is very powerful, and he's called a hippogriff in Harry Potter. Very similar to the griffin. So he's got the eagle, the bird front legs, and the the wings and the beak. So if you look at him, he's you know, he's almost like a full bird until you get to his back end, and then he's half a horse. I know at Harry Potter, when he goes, first time he meets him, he has to bow very, very carefully, so that he shows his respect before he can approach the hippogriff. And he's part horse, which means that he's good and he's noble. He is not a beast. He would not consider himself a mythical beast. He would say, I'm a mythical creature because I am a good guy. Okay, I'm good, I am royal. So we've got multiple body parts that you can use on your animal. So, you know, don't think that you know, that, well, for instance, you can have 2 heads. You can have, with this horse here, this has got 8 legs. If you look at them, you count them, 8. Now, this is an old Norse god, an old Viking god, and he has a steed, which is another name for a horse, with 8 legs, and that gives him extra power and speed for getting from the world of gods to Earth, and his name is Sleipnir. I like that name because it reminds me of sort of slaying, and there's a lot of really good sort of murderous words that come out of the Viking tradition of words and Viking language. So Scylla is a cave creature with 3 rows of teeth. Don't know if you can see them in there. There's 3 little rows of teeth. It has 6 heads, 12 feet, and she barks like a small dog. Okay, so you imagine this sort of yapping away, and with these horrible teeth. Yeah, not very nice at all. I think it was Odysseus that came across this particular creature, another Greek character. So now we come to the dragons, the snakes, and we've also got Medusa here, which I know some of you have been really interested in because she has this hair which is made of snakes, which is really grim, but also she has a very strong power, really serious power, that if you're stared at and you catch her eye line with your eyes, she turns you to stone. That's quite powerful. It's quite scary, powerful. A basilisk is a giant serpent, and a serpent is a giant snake. You can see this one here looks really grim. He's got like a 3-pronged tongue as well. So again we come to that multiple body parts as well. So lots of if you think one set of claws is quite scary, put on 4. And you'll really have it scary. So we've got these, again, we've got extra body parts here. They can be all the same, like Cerberus with a 3-headed hellhound, or the dog that belongs to Hades. You certainly would worry about him guarding something, wouldn't you? And then we've got the Hydra, and this is a nasty one because you cut the heads off and they come back with 2 heads where one was. And there's one thing that can you remember what kills the Hydra? One thing that gets the Hydra, and have a little think about that one. And we've got this horrible hybrids thing which we're going to have a look at. So we've got multi-headed creatures like Cerberus, Hydra, and Chimera, who's a fire breather. This is a really good because he's smouldering out of his mouth here. You can see the pages even started to smoulder. So let's have a look at him. You can have the same heads or different ones. These are all the same. This one is different. He's got a lion, a snake, and a goat. Everyone needs to have a goat head. So sirens sing beautifully, so that sailors are enchanted by them and they wreck their ships. So they come over to where the sounds are, and then they get wrecked, and then they stay with the siren forever. They are deadly. They're sea nymphs, and they're half human, half bird. And they have the bottom part of a bird this time, rather than the head and the claws. Not the claws, the beak and the head of no wings. Oh, are there wings? Oh yes, there are. She's got wings at the bottom there. They're very mixed up. They're called hybrids, and we've just talked about that one, which is great. And then we've got an underworld, a creature of the underworld. So it's another one that comes from like what we think of as hell. Okay, and it's an Egyptian myth. This one, mythological creature. This one. These are from not all, as I said, not all of these from ancient Greece, and she ate hearts. So she was part of working out, judging whether or not you were okay to go to heaven or you would go to hell. And if you went, they decided you weren't good enough and your heart was bad, then she would eat your heart. Nice. And you would not go to the pastor and to the afterworld. You would stay down in the underworld. And she's part crocodile. She's got a crocodile mouth and face. Then she's got a lion from the sort of like the head and neck down, and then the back end is a hippopotamus. Hippopotamuses, you think, oh, they're really cute little things. They are really, really aggressive creatures. And these three creatures would have been Nile creatures. Sorry, got the dog barking. Creatures of the location in Egypt, and they would be the most sort of frightening creatures. They put them all together, which makes them even more frightening. And this animal is called the devourer. If you devour something, you eat it really quickly. So the devourer, I love that word, it's great. So we're going to generate some ideas for the body part weapons our creature could have. What could they do to their victim? So think about those claws, talons, teeth. What else is there? I can't even think. It's gone straight out of my head. Okay. Horns. They're 3 rows of teeth. Yep. And what would they do? They might shred them, rip them up. You can be quite gruesome there, couldn't you? Like Ammit, you could, eat your hearts. Then we're going to add some extra body parts. So if you're thinking about a creature now, what I'd like you to do is you might want to just leave your notes for a little bit and then come down the page and then add some ideas. Do a little picture if you wanted to, but we are going to come to pictures as well. So you could add some extra body parts, so have multiple heads or lots of legs, or 2 tails or an extra set of teeth. Then you can add some extra ability evil weapons for strength. So you could have those sort of, is it the scream that makes it really bad? Is it like the eyesight turning something into stone like Medusa? Or is it that is the ability of those creatures? What could they do? So have a think about that. Then could you add some magical feature for defence, like the Nemean lion has a toughest skin and you can't get an arrow through it. Maybe a bit like the Hydra, if you cut off part of it, it would regrow and maybe double. What could its weakness be? This is quite important because if you're going to create a creature, oh my goodness me, what happened there? If you're going to create a creature, oh, I'm going backwards. Then you need to make sure, oh my goodness me, where's it going, oh, here we go, oh my goodness me. If you're going to create a creature, you need to have some way of eventually managing to kill it. It can't be invincible. It has to have some sort of weakness there that you can get your hero to wound it or kill it. So we're going to give you some animal pictures today. Here they are, and you're going to create the best beast that you can think of. Now normally we do this in class and we get the most weird and wonderful creatures, so I'd start off by cutting some of them out, and then you can cut them in half or cut off the bits that you really like, and then you can create either one creature, or I'd have a go at making sort of like 2 or 3 to start with before you start cutting into lots and lots of bits and just sticking them all on, because you've got to really think about the powers and maybe how it moves around, where it lives. Has it got extra powers? Like for instance, if you're using the underwater one, where's the underwater? Oh yeah, it's the octopus. Then maybe you might want to give it some wings so it can get around easily. Okay, so it's really up to you. You can create some very strange creatures. I've got them all facing one way so you can chop them and sort of and match them together easily, and have some fun with that. Try 2 combinations of animals, and then maybe 3. I like the warthog head, and we've got a Rottweiler dog here, like a part of a hellhound. and a scorpion, leopard, a cockerel, a grizzly bear standing up, and a horse. That's got to have a noble creature to it as well, hasn't it, that one? And a crocodile. So we've got a lion's head. You might want to have a lion's head, octopus legs, and maybe a rooster tail. My goodness, that's going to be a strange one. So you carefully cut them out, then you can fold them and then cut them in half. If you want to fold them and then just use, you get a very different look if you cut two animals in half and use the head and switch the bottom parts over. You'll get, that can be really, really effective for building your ideas. Here's one I did. It's an octo bear. And I really like him. He looks quite scary. Just cut the top of the octopus. Now, what would that look like if it was the other way around? So if I had the octopus head on the body of a bear, that would look really mad. I should have done that for you, shouldn't I? Maybe you could have a go at doing that. Might make that creature completely the other way around. So octopus head and grizzly bear legs. Very strange. Okay, so have a play around with those, and then I would stick the best one, or maybe the best one or two in your book. Okay. So we're nearly at the end. Can you add some magical feature for defense? So that's how it's going to look after itself. Is it going to be able to regrow? Is it going to is it going to enlarge when you start cutting bits off of it? Does it get bigger and bigger? You can really think of some imaginative things. How can it be killed? It's got to be able to be killed, because nothing is invincible here. So this is a list of things that you can include. You might also want to think about, I've just heard some seagulls calling outside. What sort of noises does it make? Has it got a voice? One of those creatures, what was it, had the barks like a small dog, which is quite strange, isn't it? So then be ready to share your beast and explain one. So once you've come up with this, you want to, it's not just a picture that you're making up a whole character today. It doesn't have to be your final one. You can chop and change tomorrow and choose your best ideas. So hopefully we'll have a nice little time doing that today. It's quite a nice activity, and I hope it goes well. All right, see you soon.